as official England team.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Wow. It's not such a crazy idea after all. Go on then, Trevor.
That's such a crazy idea. It's
One more vote. One more vote. If I get Trevor's vote.
Well, all I can say, Emmy, is either you're on the Shazam technology, saying something like that, or I'm tempted to say, nurse, get the screens. I'm very worried about Emmy here. But I think I can to be serious. I don't believe the clubs would want to let go of their best players. I mean, how would that work in any way at all? All that said, I mean, let me say, I think it's great to think outside the box. I suppose you could say the penalty box. It's great to think outside, and yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with coming out with an outlandish idea, because I think I can see exactly where you're coming from, and if it could work in some way, it could give us a very good England team. But as Femi said, if we were able to allow 1 or 2 days a week through the season where they get together, even 1 day a week, because let's face it, they don't train every day. I mean, as I understand it, during the week they train 3 or 4 mornings. Some clubs might be different, but if you could get them 1 day a week for the season, I think that would really solve the problem. What concerns me, I mean, I think yesterday that Southgate it's suggested to Trent Alexander-Arnold that he will play sort of in the centre midfield. In other words, not in the normal position where he's
midfielder. He comes from the defence and go into midfield.
Yeah, and he's let's face it, he's an excellent footballer. He really is. But I'm not sure I like this idea when these competitions finally arrive, Euros and World Cup. The managers seem to start playing players either out of their natural position or in a position they've not really tried. I mean, you go back to Roy Hodgson. I remember he got despairing about our corners and the lack of quality. So he was putting Harry Kane on the corners, the chap who should have been in the middle, heading in the goals. So I don't like this idea that managers start trying to come up with these different placements for the good players when they've not practiced that, or they've not, they're not used to that position. So yeah, I mean, there's all these things, and of course, there's a million opinions amongst football fans. The bottom line is, I hope Southgate does well. It will be great to finally win something. We've only ever won one World Cup, but for the reasons, Femi, you say, and I think I say, it's no wonder, because we don't ever get that England team. I think the point Emmy was making is very good. We need the England team to be like a club team, knowing each other, knowing how they play. The football brain links with your people, in your team. You know what they're going to do. More than once the other night, I saw stray passes from midfield or defence going to the forwards, like Anthony Gordon, and he was not in the place they thought he would go to. No, I wouldn't blame anybody, because they don't know each other's game very well.
Exactly.
And Gordon hasn't played much for England. So yeah, despite all that, we could still surprise ourselves and find we get somewhere. We should get out of the group stages. We've got Serbia, Slovenia and Denmark, and the top 2 and some third place teams will go through. So we should get out of that. But then the real test comes in the last 16. So
the knockout stages.
Yeah. Watching the game the other day, something I thought about was, it's a friendlies, right? And then I thought, well, you don't want to play too hard. You don't have to win it.
No.
So you don't want to play too hard and then sustain injuries that would then, take you out of action.
Absolutely.
For instance,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I'll be honest.
You don't? Oh, good. I love this. Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Right. So tell us why, please.
Friendly or no friendly, you want to play every time to win. I want to win every time.
Okay.
So friendly or no friendly, you could see a lot of lapses in that England team. There's no cohesion. There's no, they have not gelled together as a team. Just like Trevor said, you see some loose passes. He thinks he's there, but the guy is not making that move. is because there's no continuity, there's no consistency. If you look at the days of Chelsea, Cesc Fabregas and Diego Costa, once Fabregas has the ball right in front of the line of defense, Costa knew where he was going. Fabregas knew where Costa was going. All he needed to do is just telepathy. Costa is there. Yeah. It's a goal. Those kind of things only happen when teams play together all the time. Why do you think coaches advise two players to share the same room when they're on training camp? It's for those two players to talk all the time. When you have the ball, when I have the ball, this is what I want you to do. Make those runs, go around him, I'll give you the pass. Apart from playing on the field there are so many things to discuss as a team. You're together in the same thing. Oh, you remember, you review the game you played, you review. You know that pass, if you had gone that way, that's what I would have done. I would have made that pass that way. I would have done this, I would have done that. But that's lacking because, like I said, they are not always together. Week in, week out, before competition, 6 months to competition, week in, week out, these players must at least spend 24 hours together. We know it's their profession. This is what they do. This is how they feed their family. But they must sacrifice. I know they've got the club thing that they do. They have their family. But if you want to be in that England team, you must sacrifice. You must sacrifice. They must come together at least 24 hours in a week. To share things, to talk, to share experiences, to come together as a team and become a unit. Yeah. That's the only way to going forward.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good points. Good points there. Yeah. Yeah. So,
I mean, on your point, Emmy, just to say, I think the reason I picked up on what you said, I think, and I agree with Femi, of course, you want to win everything. I mean, if I were a sportsman, and when I used to play a lot of football, you want to win at all costs. But I do think in the final couple of games before, World Cup or Euros, I think players do hold back because they themselves are dreading getting injured, so they can't play in the finals. Now, I'm not sure the way around that, but I think that's not an excuse for them losing to Iceland. I think the real reason is, as Femi said, they don't really know each other. And as a pick up a point he made, exactly with Eze and Elise at Palace, the last third of the season, their combination was incredible. They knew what each other were thinking. They knew there they would be, even when they were behind them. They just knew. It was an instinct. It was quite incredible. They knew each other's game to perfection, and that's what you do need. You need, maybe different pairs of players who know, as Femi said, they know where their other one's going to be from the midfield to the forward or whatever, and that's probably what we lack. I think France always have a good chance of winning these things because whenever you watch them, as well as having very talented players, they do look like a team, like a club team that they play together. And I think probably Italy as well. But somehow with our teams, because we chop and change, bring in so many different players, I don't always get that feeling. And I know it's easier to sit and criticise. And as I say, no one wants us to win more than we do, let's face it. But I think we see the obvious reasons why we haven't won any more trophies and probably won't until we have a change of system, perhaps.
Yeah.
I will still wave the flag, though.
I want to come in again. Sorry. If you look at the Greek national team that won the Euros 2004, where do you want to place those players? Do you want to place them in the category of the English national team then? No. They were nobody. But because they've been together for a long time as a team, that's what made them got to where they got to. Sometimes it's not putting Ronaldo in your team that makes you win, or putting Messi in your team that makes you win. It's a collective game. That's why you have defenders, midfielders, and attackers. They all have to play as one. You can't just bring in, okay, you bring Cristiano Ronaldo in a team, you bring Messi in a team, you bring this man. If they're gonna lose, they're gonna lose.
Yeah.
If they don't play together as a team, if they don't know where this person is gonna be at this point in time.
Yeah.
If you look at the Iceland team that beat I read that the Iceland team beat the England team in 2016, knocked them out of the qualifying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
they
happened
did.
again.
Yeah.
It's happened again last week. We saw it. Look at it. Okay, when I was watching it before the game started, we had like a prediction.
Yeah.
And this guy said, and I know Iceland, all these Scandinavian teams, they are very good. They are very good. This guy said England's going to win 4-0. Another one said England's going to win 3-0. I said the Iceland team is good. If England is going to ever beat them, I'll say 2-1.
Right, okay.
And the first 10 minutes of the game, there was a goal. And this guy that said England was going to win 4-0 said, you're right, these guys are good. I don't see England beating these guys.
Yeah.
I said, they know where each other is going to be at every point in time.
Right.
They don't make mistake with their passes. And at the end of the game, it was 1-0. England, there was no threat from England that they looked like they were going to score.
No.
Yeah.
No threat.
Also, I mean, I think Ramsdale might have done better on the goal, but also I think, why is he playing? I mean, they take 3 goalkeepers, but I think he's going to be second choice, and Palace's Henderson will be third. But what frustrates me is that Ramsdale has not been playing for Arsenal. He's their number 2 keeper, and I've never believed